Welcome to Conversations with Denise. I'm your host, Denise. Always, I have a great show for you. Last week, I talked to a group of amazing mothers about balancing their family life with their careers, with their being a stay-at-home mom in industry that's working on a grind, getting her own business going, mom in corporate America. But this week, we were going to call this show Superman, but then we came up with a few good men because I have more than just one on the show today. We're going to be talking about fatherhood, what it means to be a father, how important it is to have a father figure in your life. And I have some supermen that, be honest with you, there are more than a few good men out there, but I got a few of them with me on today. We'll be right back after this break. I'm going to be talking with them, so stay tuned. I'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Join Bishop Stan Williams and the Church 320 this and every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on the west side of Jacksonville, Florida. Experience real praise. Come be a part of real worship and hear a real word to revolutionize your life. The Church 320 is an authentic worship experience. The Church 320 was voted Jacksonville's best place to worship. Join Bishop Stan this week.
Okay, so we're back with a few good men, and I'm really excited because we're going to be talking about a lot of issues today on the show. I'm going to ask you to help me welcome my guests to the show, a few good men. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. I want to take a minute to introduce yourselves to everybody. Let them know you're married, how many children you have.
Okay, I'm Umar Abdul Hakim. I'm married 29 years. I have 2 children. Well, 2 adults. My daughter, Sakina, she's 29, and my son, Bilal, will be 25 the day after Christmas.
Awesome. Oh, that was a good Christmas present. Yes, sir. Your name?
Hey, Mr. Al Pete, hip-hop artist, DJ, runner of Mr. Peterson's Neighborhood, and Groove Suite Podcast. And I have a son, Dewan Peterson. He just graduated from Lee High School, 18. I have a stepdaughter that's 18. And she just graduated from Atlantic Coast.
Awesome.
Yep.
So, and you're single?
Single, yep.
Single man, ladies. Children gone. All right.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
My name is Akeem Brody. Been married for 3 years, but together with my wife for 10 years.
10 years, okay.
I have 6 children.
6 children.
I have four girls and 2 boys.
Awesome, awesome. Very good. Okay, so what do you all do? Now, I know you a little bit because you've been on the show with me before. So I know what you used to do. But what do you do now?
Well, right now I'm a stay-at-home dad. You know, I
Stay
take
at
my
home with no
I
children?
no children at home. My kids are in New Jersey, and I take my wife to work 3 days a week.
That's wonderful.
That's my new job.
That's a good man. And you're a hip-hop artist.
Yep,
You said something else about a store?
No, a hip-hop artist, DJ, and I do a podcast.
Podcast,
Yeah.
okay.
I just started this new podcast called The Groove Suite where we play. We specialize in like neo-soul, hip-hop, funk, jazz. So we just kind of get together and talk, me and my friend Sasha Thumper.
Awesome.
He's amazing, by the way.
He's amazing. He's amazing. You got somebody,
Thank you, sir.
He's a
somebody to
legend,
vouch
a
for
legend
you. That's
around
cool. That's cool. And what do you do? Now, they have a nickname for you.
They call me Daddy Mom.
Daddy Mom. Daddy Mom. Okay.
Because pretty much everything I do, that when the mom is not there, I do everything. I can't do anything that she can do, but I try.
But you try.
I try.
But that's a good dad. So since we're right there, and I guess you're my lead-in, what are the qualities, and anybody can take this question, of a good father? We're talking about being a good father, children having a father figure in their lives, even if they don't have a biological father.
Father's a protector, has to be very attentive, especially when you're dealing with multiple personalities in your home.
6 personalities on top of the other ones.
Well, I think more so for me was being a good role model.
A good role
you know,
model.
Because, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and there was very few situations where there was two parents in the house.
Okay.
You know, for a while it was just my mother.
Okay.
So I knew being in that situation, once she got married and being raised by my stepfather, with him being the ultimate role model, I wanted to emulate him.
How old were you when your stepfather came into your life?
I was 9.
You were 9. Okay,
Right.
so you weren't a teenager, so you
No.
wasn't quite developed, but you had time to kind of build a relationship
Yes.
with him.
Yes.
Qualities of a good father.
I'll piggyback off you and say the role model. You know, the kids the father need to be the first person that the good role model of that. So, just a smart, diligent guy, intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah, that type
Now,
of
did
thing.
all of you have relationships with your father, with your biological father, or some type of father figure?
Me, like Umar, my stepfather came in my life at 9.
At 9, okay.
But it only lasted like 2 years where everything was like kind of good in the beginning of the marriage. Then he turned into a drug addict real bad. So I basically raised myself my entire life up until like 24, 25.
But your mom was in your life.
My mother was there, but not there.
Okay.
Not technically.
So you
she had
kind
to
of
work.
grew up fast.
Yes.
No, where's home for you? Are you
Home. I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, but I was raised in Maryland.
In Maryland.
In D.C., the DMV
Oh, okay.
area, as they would
Okay.
call it.
Okay. And
Yeah, my stepdad is same thing, 9 years old.
okay,
He's still
well,
around.
look at that.
He's still around and
Okay.
still kicking and still married my mom. And me and my dad got cool after I graduated from high school. He wasn't around, but we have the best relationships. I have
That's cool.
a double relationship with my stepdad and my
your
dad.
father.
Yep.
That's good. So let me ask you, all your fathers, what does being a dad mean to you? I mean, I know a lot of times we hear people talk about my dad, but because they're the person that provided the seed doesn't necessarily make for a good father.
Right.
So what does being a father mean to you all?
Well, for me, it was always important because I would always tell people, and I honestly believe that anybody can be a daddy.
A daddy.
But there's a difference between a father and a child and being there, being
Right.
a father.
Right.
So, you know, like I took a lot of pride in being that protector, the teacher, giving the kids a foundation, giving them a role model, you know, being home
Right.
and teaching them what was right and what was wrong. I mean, there was a lot of resistance
Yeah.
coming up because, you know, I was a police officer.
Okay.
So my kids,
Oh,
there
yeah.
were things that they wanted to do that daddy just couldn't let
Couldn't
them
let 'em
do.
happen. Couldn't
So
let
there
'em
was
happen.
resistance in
Yeah.
that. But you know, both of them are graduates from college and they got it.
Okay.
They got
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Just again being the role model
The role model.
and definitely the protector. It feels good that my son and my daughter believes that whenever they call me that I'm going to be right
That you're
there,
gonna be there.
and they have that faith, and it just feels good to know that my kids have that. So
Quality.
I basically, like, it's what both of them said, being a role model. But I'll be honest and transparent. It's a difficult task.
Being a good father.
Yes, because I didn't have that model. Closest
Right.
model I have is Bishop. you
Uh-huh.
know. But it's a learning curve for me. It's
So
not
let me ask
perfect.
you a question. I know I'm gonna just keep going on this because I don't want to lose this. How did you all? Because you all are good fathers. You've been there for your children. You're providing. You work hard at it. Where'd you learn that? Did you have someone to sit you down, or you watch it, or you just made the decision? I'm not gonna do what somebody else did to me.
actually, I didn't have like that role model type. I just kind of pulled from my experiences. I know when my dad wasn't around, I kind of said, you know, indirectly, I'm not going to do that with my kids. So,
Okay.
And with my stepdad, I just pulled a lot from him, and I pulled a lot from my mom, my grandma as
Okay.
well. So it was just common sense. I thank the Lord that I had common sense to say, you know, teach them to stay away from the fire
Yeah.
or any type of thing. So that I think it just kind of came naturally for me.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was instinct. It's like
Instinct.
Yeah, I took,
hunter's instinct.
I took it as, all right, a lot of what my father and my stepfather did was not keep their word. The simple things. I didn't care about the money bag.
And it's really important for a dad to keep
Yeah.
their word.
I didn't care about money or gifts or
Yeah.
anything. Just keep your word. If you say you're going to play baseball with me at a certain time, I know you got to work all
Right.
day, all
Right.
summer, so we can eat. All I'm asking you is just keep your word. And
Okay.
that broke my heart.
Yeah.
So I try as best as I can to keep
keep
my
your
word
word.
with my kids. because that crushes them when I don't.
Yeah, because to most children, dad is that Superman. We do have to take a break because I know I'm past my time. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get your response, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about what it means to be a good man, a good father to your children. We'll be right back after this break.
The Weekend Radio Show presents The Weekend Launch, the premier hip-hop concert in Jacksonville, Florida. It all goes down September 23rd, 2016 at the Church 320. Our lineup this year includes headliner D1, Erica Mason, Rab G, Big Phil, A. Brody, Brinson, and the Weekend Zone, King Chav. You don't want to miss it. Visit theweekendradioshow.com for more details. Doors open at 6, event starts at 7. It is completely free. Register online at theweekendradioshow.com.
Okay, so when we left off, I was asking the men how did they learn how to be good fathers if they had role models, if they had someone to stand in as a father. And I think you said keeping your word and instincts, something that you wished your dads would have done is keep their word. And then you said you had role my common sense, some things that you saw I'm not going to do. I'm going to make sure that this is what I do for my child that wasn't done to me.
Well, I kind of I kind of followed the trait of when I always knew what was right and what was wrong.
Okay.
I had a sense of what was right and what was wrong coming up in the church at a young age in Georgia.
Right.
However, I was in a house with alcoholics. So seeing that, I knew I didn't want that.
Right.
You know. So, you talk about being a role model, but also consistency.
Yeah.
That's what kids want to see.
They do. They do. Yeah.
Like Akeem said, keeping your word.
Yeah.
So, if you say you're going to do it, and I was always taught that that's all, as black men, the only thing that we have is our word.
Yeah,
we don't have nothing else. You can't put a value on money, or materialistic things. But as an adult, as a father, if I tell you I'm gonna be at this recital at 8 o'clock, even if I get there at 8:10, but I need to beat it.
Right. You need to show your
because
face.
that's what the kids remember. You talk to my
You're
kids
right.
now, they can tell you, Daddy, I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember when you said that. So that's the confirmation that you hope you did a good job.
Right. And it's like Akeem said, he said, I didn't care about money and gifts and that, but keep your word, because you're right. Children remember, especially with fathers. I know I have a daughter and a son. My daughter, her father's word is gold. And if he says something, she doesn't care. The sky could fall out. My dad said it, I believe it. And so dads are really important. Let me ask you, coming up as a young man, we know we have a society of young men who have some issues. You said, some of the issues are, some of them are young fathers. Some of them are, they're in the street, they're in gangs, they have violent tempers. I was talking to a young lady, and she was sharing with me about how she's seen young men fighting, and they just keep going back to it. And she's like, okay, good to see you losing. Did you all experience some of those issues? And if you did, how'd you come out of it? If not, how'd you stay away from it?
I experienced a lot.
Okay.
We went through a lot. I know this is a show, so I keep it short. This generation right here is just, they are.
You think they're worse?
They're
off
worse
than what
because
you were?
there's no rehabilitation, and there's a lot of things that we don't talk about in the African American family is mental health.
Okay.
We don't talk about that. We don't deal with problems and solve them or try to get help. I had a lot of hurt in our house. We had a person with AIDS in the house when it boomed. We had an alcoholic, a crackhead in the house. All these things. And I'm going to school to go to sleep.
Wow.
Because I've been up all night
With
fighting
issues,
fighting my stepfather or wrestling them.
But at some point, a experiencing that. And listen, everybody hasn't had the experiences that you have. So it's a commendable seeing where you are
Where
and
you
the
are
things
now,
that you
right.
do. So
Absolutely.
you should be applauded.
Yeah.
But even seeing that, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What
Y'all-
helped you, or what went off in your head to say, I don't want to do that? Because
Something
because it
had
was
to,
easier.
yeah.
I talk to people, and being a police officer, certain behaviors are learned behaviors.
Yes.
Especially in
Yeah.
the black community.
Black
When you
community.
see something, you start to say, that's right.
Yeah.
So I should do that.
Because I see it all the time.
I can
In
answer
every family, that's what's going on. But something said no.
Yeah, I had mentors. That was a key thing in my life. I had three
Yeah,
mentors,
mentors, okay.
that I can name. One of them was Jennifer Kasem. She was
Uh-huh.
a Jewish lady in my High Point High School. Shout
Okay.
outs to her. Ned Lewis and Mr. Spate.
Okay.
They got me in line. 'Cause we end up homeless, and a lot of things happen. It's like, kid, you got a lot of talent. You got a lot of aggression. And they got to the source of it.
So your
And they say,
mentors
"This is
were
what
able to help
yeah."
steer you
They
so
helped
that
steer
you
me
wouldn't end
and
up
get
in
me off
some
that
of those
woe is me
situations.
path that I
Yeah.
was going on. And that's what got me out of that situation, made me see
Yeah.
through all that. It made me not want to do that
Yeah.
and be the best that I could be.
See,
Okay.
I was in the sports.
Okay.
So, I had this notion that if you wanted to be a professional, that you couldn't get in trouble.
Right.
That you couldn't get involved in
Alcohol
alcohol.
and
You couldn't
drugs.
smoke. You
Yeah.
couldn't do drugs. So I always held on to the thought that I was going to always be that guy. That I was going to get to the next level. So I
Right.
had to do certain things. I had to go to school. I had to be a good student.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me
So
on the
even
straight and
without
narrow.
having, you had mentors and you had your stepfather, but something still was able to stir. You made a decision, and that's what I think our young men today are not doing. They're making decisions, but they're the wrong decisions.
Well, I think today, the kids today, from my experience, there's not a fear factor. Again,
Okay.
when I coached in high school, I'll never forget, we had a meeting. We got 45 kids at Weekway High School.
Okay,
Right?
my alma mater.
So we're sitting there and we've had practice. So I'll never forget, the head coach said, he had posed a question to the kids, and he said, you know what? How many kids have two parents in the house? Now we got, say 46 kids.
Yeah.
12 men
Wow.
raised their hand. Okay, of the 12, how many fathers are in the house? And there was only 2.
Wow.
So just think now, you got 46 kids with, I don't want to say no direction, but their only role model is the coaches
Is the
that they
coaches.
see
Yeah.
2 hours a day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And if they and half of them were involved in the gangs. I mean, we would be at practice and people was getting shot
Woo.
outside the playground,
Yeah.
the field. And that's exciting to them.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, who did that?
Yeah.
I can't wait to get, find out what happened, because
Yeah.
it's excitement where if we're in the house and we're teaching our kids right and wrong, our kids should say, I need to go to the dressing room or get away from this because I don't want to get hit.
So let me ask you. So you're raising your children right at home, and so they're going into these environments. How do we, I guess, protect them or cover them, or is there a way, or we just have to trust that what we put in them, that they're going to be able to turn and say no?
Yeah, it's definitely a trust factor. I know for me, I got to a point with my son that I had to believe that I did everything that I could, and I know I instilled everything in him.
Okay.
And I just knew that I had to hold him up to responsibility, and to piggyback off that fear factor.
Yeah.
It's like we won't hold these kids accountable for anything. A lot of people don't hold them, but we're not. The fathers are not there to even hold them accountable
Right.
for, or the role models and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on that.
So we need
It's just the trust, definitely. Like
Trust.
it's. I mean, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, and I believe
But
in
there's a
everything
lot of
that
families that there's a lot of one-parent homes that's single mom homes,
Right.
and that single mom has to go to work, maybe once or two jobs.
Well, I'm there too. I mean, I was a custodial parent. You know what I'm saying? And I had my son in the house with me, and you know, it was just me and him.
Just you and him.
Yeah, so I mean, I experienced those same things in regards to what the woman did, but you know, that didn't stop me. I just had determination. I knew I had to take care of what I had to take care
Gotta do
of,
what you gotta do.
and I had to do what I had to do. And I instilled and reassured to my son and my stepdaughter, like, hey, you know, everything's gonna be fine, and all this other stuff. So
Okay.
I've done well enough, and I have a lot more to instill in him. But
Right.
at this moment right here,
Right.
I've instilled so much in him to where I'm like, well, you know, I pray every night.
Right.
And just leave it to God's
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
And I know that, you know, he'll hit a bump here and there.
Yeah.
But he'll come back because, you know,
Because you put the right
I
stuff
put
in.
the right stuff in
And
it,
that's
so.
what matters. We
Right.
got to take a break. I'm going to come right back. We're going to finish talking about being a good father, what fatherhood means to you. And then I want to ask you a question about your proudest moment. What was your proudest moment as being a dad? We'll be right back after this break.
Join Bishop Stan Williams and the Church 320 this and every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on the west side of Jacksonville, Florida. Experience real praise. Come be a part of real worship and hear a real word to revolutionize your life. The Church 320 is an authentic worship experience. The Church 320 was voted Jacksonville's best place to worship. Join Bishop Stan this week.
Okay, so we're back and we've been having an absolutely wonderful conversation. And I hope you've been tuning in and listening to these fathers, good men, good African American men that's in the home, not making the same mistakes that their parents may have had or their forefathers before them, or some other parents, you know, that we look and we wonder what's going on in the lives of these young men and some young girls as well. But I want to ask you a question before I pose a good, happy, such mama question to you. Does you, because I'm a mama, do you think that social media and how much of the social media and community is having an effect on the decisions that our children are making?
100% of it
100% of it.
200%.
to me.
Really?
Because you can
So
control.
you think
if
the social media is really kind of shaping their decision, their choices?
social, what they say the devil come to do, kill, steal, and destroy.
Destroy,
right?
right.
That's the biggest deception. Social media. If you can control the media, you can control the world.
That's true.
And whatever they put out there, I mean, these kids just eat up everything.
Yeah, because
eat it up.
I hear a lot of times the young people saying, if it's on Facebook, you know it's real. Facebook is a social media.
Yeah. And it's funny how you can make your own identity. You can make a totally different identity.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's a totally different identity that you could be one person on Facebook and then one person in real life and be totally different
Wow.
and contradicted. And
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a destroyer.
Well, see, you know, these young men, I'm old school.
Yeah.
Usually,
We
I'm old
just
school,
got
right?
social media.
So we didn't have social media,
Right, right.
but my kids are grown.
Uh-huh.
You know, but I think had social media been in place when they were small, I would have to control that.
So let me ask you. So we're older than this group here, but so we had community then.
Right.
Growing up, so and we were told to go outside.
Right.
So our community probably did more shaping
Right.
with us.
Miss Johnson across
Yeah.
the street, Miss Williams downstairs.
Right.
You know, if the kids didn't or were not acting according to the way we were brought up while mom
Yeah.
and dad was working, you know, they was gonna address it or take care of it themselves.
That's
you
true.
know.
And
See,
we're missing that village.
well, it was, you know, the biggest problem, and I get it. You know, there's a difference between discipline
Yeah.
and abuse.
And abuse, absolutely.
You know, and see, the problem that I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is we want to be friends with
Yeah.
our parents or our children.
children, yeah.
And you can't be. You know, there's in my house there was a strong
Strong
distinction.
lines, yeah.
Listen, we're not your friend.
Right.
I'm daddy.
Right.
That's mommy. You are kids.
Right. And it doesn't mean that we didn't love our children and we didn't laugh with them and enjoy it being with them. But there was a line of respect, there was a line of honor, there was a line of reverence that said, no, when I come up, here's one of the things I growing up, believe it or not, this nice young lady here, I had a terrible, terrible mouth. But I knew how to control my mouth when I got around adults.
Right.
But in my environment, I was a totally different person.
Right.
So you knew how to control yourself. Children today, or young people today, they have no line of respect.
Or you remember, I know you do, they may not remember, but children are supposed to be seen
and not heard. Oh yeah.
No, I come from the end of that era.
I'm about to say,
I carry that on.
Dying breed on
That-
that.
I'm trying to last the time we on that.
Remember, we couldn't sit
In the
in
same
the
room.
with the air. You know, no, get
No,
out
no.
of here. This
Oh,
this
yeah.
ain't no
You get a-
kids
you
in
get a
here.
whooping.
You know, but now,
Yeah.
you know, you go to the mall or you'll talk to some younger people and they
Yeah.
say, oh, you know, the kid is in the middle of the
and,
conversation.
and they jump right in and give their opinion, and that wouldn't happen.
And they want to know
Yeah.
why he shows out or why he's getting
Yeah.
in and out of trouble because
So we,
you his friend.
yeah. So, but we have to come up with a resolve, and I'm gonna have you guys back because this conversation is interesting. And I, honestly, I like to hear men talk, and I like to hear real men talk about real issues, and to give real insight and opinion. So we're gonna have them back. We're gonna have them back on the show. But so our resolve is what with our children? What would you tell young men or young family parents today? Hey, you got these boys and girls growing
Listen,
up.
you have these boys and girls growing up. You have to be consistent. You have to,
Be consistent.
as a father, you know, be a man of your word. And whatever you do, remember that everybody's watching.
That's good.
Everybody's
That's
watching.
good.
Yeah, just simply just be there, and at the same time, you know, take care of yourself as well as take care of, you know, the kids. But you know, you have
That's
to
good.
you have to take care of yourself.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
definitely.
good. You
Yeah.
got to take care of yourself
Right.
if you're going to have to, in order to take care of your children. Yes,
There's
sir.
nothing else to say but consistency. You
Consistency.
stay in the fight. Don't
Yeah.
give up. Because these kids, when they see you fall off, when you're not consistent,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose respect.
They gone too.
Got to be consistent.
Gone.
Consistency. All right, now this is my mama soft, smushy question. What's your proudest moment of being a dad, of being a father?
Well, I just had one. It was
Graduation.
Yeah, graduation.
Two of them
Two
graduated.
of them. Yeah, it was
Awesome.
crazy. It was. I don't think I don't think it has hit me
Hit you
yet.
yet?
Yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
hit me here and there, but the graduation was just real.
Graduation,
Like,
yeah, that makes your heart
it's
pump.
definitely a sense of completion, even
Yeah.
though we're going to another angle of
Yep.
life now. So, graduation.
Graduation, awesome.
Mine was my proudest moments
Uh-huh.
were seeing both of them born.
Then both of them born.
Seeing both of
Yeah.
them born, and my daughter just got married,
Uh-huh.
and my son when he graduated from
College. Awesome. You,
My proudest moment is just being collectively my kids around me all the time.
okay.
And just seeing all the things that they're blossoming into.
Wow.
Being there
Yeah.
instead of hearing about it. That's
Hearing
my
about it.
proudest moment.
Being there.
Yes.
Being there. Awesome. This has been a great show. Awesome conversation. I want to have you back. I want to have the three of you back so we can pick up where we left off and just talk about being a father, because I think society needs to hear and they need to see good fathers. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to bring them back. Maybe not next week, but they're coming back soon on Conversations with Denise. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.